Welcome back. We are quite naturally tracking Hurricane Erin tonight. The storm is making its presence known, and that's putting it mildly in Virginia and North Carolina as it makes its way north. The hurricane's projected path will keep its strongest winds, we are told, offshore. Rob Marciano is tracking the storm from Virginia Beach, Virginia. Rob, great to have you. I see you buffeted by the winds. What can you tell us?
Yeah, the winds are pretty intense. We're out on a pier, so we're obviously a little bit more exposed, but it really gives you a good vantage point of what this surf is like here at Virginia Beach. We spent much of the past few days on the Outer Banks of North Carolina, which certainly got the worst of the waves and the wind. It was the closest point to which it was the center of Erin when Erin was the closest to the U.S., which was earlier this morning. It is slowly beginning to pull away. That's the good news. Bad news is it's such a big storm. The waves propagating out from it are going to continue to pepper this coastline for the next several days, and not just the Carolinas and the mid-Atlantic, but all the way up into southern New England, and we're certainly going to see that be the case. So we've seen some damage across parts of the Outer Banks. We certainly have seen a lot of coastal flooding, and this wind continues to buffer this area. Not a whole lot major as far as wind damage, because we haven't seen much more over tropical storm force. We didn't expect to. And because of that, we haven't seen much in the way of power outages. So it's really just a lot of tourism disrupted and folks coming out to safely look at these impressive waves.
Rob, very quickly, this is a big holiday weekend approaching. And if you're in the water, even though it doesn't look scary, it is, and you should not do it, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, most of these beaches are completely shut down. But the lifeguards are on duty, not to save lives, but to get people out of the water if they even try to get in it. So, yes, until the lifeguards and the authorities say it's safe to go in, everybody, for the most part, has been staying out, Major.
Excellent. Rob Marciano, Virginia Beach, Virginia, thanks so very much. During my conversation this week with North Carolina Senator Thom Tillis, we ran a lot of that sound last night. I asked him about the Trump administration's efforts to decrease the size of FEMA. Here's part of that conversation.
What do you want to happen to FEMA, and what risks is this administration taking, talking about and implementing maneuvers to shrink its role and hand this over to the states?
Well, it's number one, do you realize it was about a year ago that we were floating down a river in western North Carolina?
I do. I remember that well.
But who knew 7 weeks later, we'd have 105 people dead, 2 or 3 still missing, over 250 people
right there
in the region, all affected by Helene. Right there.
Right where we were.
And fortunately, that area, fortunately for those folks, that area was relatively unscathed, relatively speaking. But when I think it was Noam or somebody who was saying that we should eliminate FEMA, my immediate reaction was that's clearly coming from somebody who's never managed a major storm crisis. Because if you think about why FEMA was created, it was in the aftermath of a horrible response to a massive storm. And we realized that storms have this nasty habit of not honoring state lines and county lines, and they just go wherever the hell they want to go. And in this case, it went through Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, up into West Virginia, the western part of Virginia. That was the footprint of a Helene. 250 people dead, $50 billion of damage in North Carolina alone. Do we really want, when they were originally talking about eliminating FEMA, I asked people, do we really want to play paper, scissors, rock to figure out what state or what county leads a disaster? Okay, storm's coming. It's off the Antilles. Not really sure where it's going to go. Everybody pick the straw. Figure out who's going to manage this response. You have any idea how inefficient that would be?
You pick your model. You pick the European model. You pick the
That's right. Okay, well,
model.
If it goes up that string, you'll be responsible. It makes no sense. Now, if you want to make FEMA leaner, if you want to push the staff out of D.C. into regional response areas, if you want to actually act on some of the reforms that we proposed over the past couple of years, great idea. But eliminating FEMA as the main convener of other resources, the other thing about FEMA is it's fairly light in terms of the people that ultimately are on the ground. This is managing state disaster response, local disaster response, the Baptist on Mission, all of the American Red Cross, all the people that come around, they're pre-positioned most of the time.
Yeah, moving water.
Yeah. Can you imagine if every time we have a new game plan, right now we know a storm's about to come. There are already assets that were being pre-positioned for the first named storm. Just get ready, guys. May not come, may come. They're ready. They're on the ready. They have that playbook. Can it be more efficient? Of course. Can you cut through red tape and go right down to local government funding of matters? Absolutely. But to eliminate it, that's just naive. It's a lack of experience.
As is plainly evident, lunch was very, very good. You can watch my full interview with North Carolina Republican Senator Thom Tillis on our YouTube page and your favorite podcast platform.